So Raza is gonna talk about multidimensional journey of our kind. It's a piece that he's performing here as well. Raza is a researcher, podcaster, producer, and visual storyteller. So his service has been a translating storyteller of emergence and transcendence. He works in research and enterprise officer in the Faculty of Liberal Arts and Science here in Greenwich. And he's developing collaborative events, partnerships, podcasts, and supporting research projects. So over to you, Raza. If you could stay here so people on Zoom can listen to you.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm really grateful that you are here. So let's start maybe with what is the research and why we should care about it, and then a little bit on how we might do it. What it is, so it is about finding better learning practices from multiple traditions around the world, which can expand human learning capacity. So why should we do it? So the research would deal with 3 challenges. So I'm going to mention those challenges. So in this digital era, which is now exacerbating a lot of challenges for individuals, the first one is social overwhelm. Social overwhelm is excessive exposure to information, which creates these kind of meaningless constructs in our mind, which leads to health issues, not just mental health issues, but health issues overall. Second one is evolutionary misalignments, which humans face in our highly simulated technological environment. To be honest, like evolutionary misalignment is maybe the tagline of this symposium. It is this misalignment of an organism body with its environment. So if an organism has been evolved in a particular ecosystem and then it's been taken up very quickly, it has not evolved enough response yet to cope with it. An example of it would be, so let's imagine what kind of environment we are in right now, like the people in cities. So cyberspace, which we find ourselves in. Let's imagine that there's no walls in our cities. And what you see is what is behind the walls or in between the walls, the wires. So every electronic wire we have around us, technological device, like I'm talking to the camera right now. Just imagine all of this electronic wires, grids, electricity, and devices. Even without the walls, you can actually see the exoskeleton of this cyberspace. I mean, this is the extent of how we are living right now. It's like the cyberspace has nearly started to mimic the complexity of a biospace. It's nowhere near the complexity of biospace, but it has already started, and this is where we are growing. So that's the complexity of an ecosystem and the evolutionary misalignment. The third challenge is irrelevance, which is that in our complicated cyberspace, we have algorithmic automation, which could lead to irrelevance. So irrelevance could be described as when individuals feel that due to complete automation, they can no longer meaningfully contribute in their surrounding or in their society, either emotionally or socially or with their skills. And sometimes people say that, no, but whenever we develop something new, there's a new job or some other kind of activity which could be done. But I think it's a wrong analogy. It's like with arms race, there's an argument that, yeah, we develop better weapons. Yes, they can destroy things, but look how much capacity we have developed in industrialization. How we can make better things. Well, not if you have developed a hydrogen bomb in the arms race. That's a total destruction. There is no factories. There are no humans who would work. In fact, it is the same analogy for this kind of automation. And being involved in machine learning, or what is a popular word is AI, artificial intelligence, which is just glorified algorithms. It's not that hard to develop automation. And once the automation is developed at a very extreme level, the domination will be complete, and it could create this issue of irrelevance. So now, as the problems which I mentioned, they are multi-layered and they are complicated. So that's why a multidisciplinary response. Hence, trying to find out the practices wherever we can, those learning practices. And I think that's why even we are gathered here right now. That's why I'm here. Specialization is good. We need sometimes very specific solutions, but I think hyper specialization is a bit of a problem, which we can see happening in a lot of our institutes. Hyper specialization creates silos and then no longer anymore have an overview of the problem which we were trying to solve. It's like an example of when instead of a dog wiggling the tail started to wiggle the dog. I mean, our tools have become so powerful that it's the tools now which are deciding what problems we should solve, rather than we, having a vision, seeing what problems we need to solve, and using tools to solve the problems. I think that that's maybe most of my service has been. It's that in different traditions, in different disciplines, being a translator. So I think if I can hear more from every one of you, and I can see that we're developing these practices and combining these things. And I think now very important thing is if we can translate these learning practices from different places for the kind of cyberspace I just talked about, and then can find out which practices are effective for what kind of setting and for who, and how many people can that actually work. Can we develop like inner human abilities where we can actually listen to our intuitions beyond language? Because yet language hasn't developed such frameworks to understand these challenges. And well, hopefully this is a big hope that we might be able to transcend the kind of challenges we face with some wisdom and some kindness. Just lastly, I think one thing I would say is that one of the things we would definitely need more is more people who can speak different modalities, emotional truth and also objective truth. Another way of describing is internal functional truths and external scientific truths. I think more of the people can actually speak in these modalities simultaneously and use the modality for the situation they are in. We can solve a lot of problems. And we have all heard that, well, the last couple of centuries, we have progress, exponentially. So exponential progress give you from like linear one is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. An exponential will be 2, 4, 8, 64, and like by sixth and eighth step, you are at millions. So this is a big difference. So yes, we have progress, but always when we progress and gain some sort of power, there's a displacement of an externality where someone has to pay the price, or we have to pay the price, somewhere in a time and space. I think it is similar with the challenges. Our challenges have also increased exponentially. And it's not just that simple that we don't know what the challenges are. I think it's that we have not yet even developed a framework in our languages to know and detect the problems which are already impacting us right now. And that's why this kind of update into the pedagogy of learning as an attempt. So yes, it's a very challenging situation. And I think there's a very effective Buddhist practice where they say that you should start by tending to the part of the garden that you can touch. And I hope that if most of us can do that, we can touch all of the garden. Thank you so much.